Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Megan, and I'm here to talk about my last 5 library books. Let's get into it. These are my books. The purple books. Most of them anyway. Oh, I dropped them. It's okay. Alright, let's get right into it then. The first book I read was We Two Alone by Jack Wang. This is the cover. I read this as part of the Canada Reads 2022 list. This will probably be the last one that I read in physical form because there is still a waiting list for that last book. It must be very popular. I'm hoping that it's going to be really good. But before we jump into that book, let's talk about this book. This book was sad. Like, just sad. It just felt like there were so many stories where characters got together and then like they loved each other, but they realized that they couldn't be together because of certain circumstances or whatever. And it wasn't really like they like hate each other or anything like that. It was just life circumstances, and you just realize that you're a different person. You grow up, like all these different things, and it was just really sad to read about people like realizing that. Also, this book took place, so this is a collection of short stories, so each story had that theme, and then each story also took place in a different time period. So you had like early 1900s, late 1900s, early 2000s, like now. So each of them took place in a different era or a decade, and it also showed the differences in being a Chinese immigrant throughout those different periods of time as well. So it was actually really fascinating to read and just really like sad, but also like just also like I don't know, heartwarming and just nice to read as well. I don't know how to describe it, but that's how I felt. I ended up rating this 4 stars. It was very close to being a 5-star read. Just I don't think I'll ever see myself reading this one again, so 4 stars. I'm giving it 4 stars. The next book I read was Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crawley, the book with the books on the cover. This book was sad. I picked a lot of sad books this time. OMG. This one I ended up rating 5 stars. I don't think I'll ever read it again, and usually that's like my thing for giving something 5 stars is I'm really sure that I'm going to read it again, but I don't think I'm ever going to read this book again. But gosh, it was like gut punching, but like heartwarming. There was a lot going on. Basically, the premise is this girl writes her best friend a note, and before she moves to another city, and then she never hears from him, so she assumes that, oh, he doesn't love me. And then a very tragic thing happens in her life, and she finds herself back in that city, working in the bookshop that he and his family own and work in. And so now she has to face him. And so now it's basically like a rebuilding of their friendship, as well as her going through a lot of grief. And he's also got stuff going on as well with his family, because they're also losing the bookstore, and that's a big part of their lives. But wow, for such a small book, this took a look at grief in such a way that it was I'm speechless. I have no words. It was just that good. I truly enjoyed this, even though it was really sad. So I highly recommend this one. It's just, and like the book quotes and the book library. I mean, if you like books, I don't care if it's sad. The book stuff in this is just so gorgeous. Everything is done so well. I can't even speak because it was so good. Read this book. 5 stars. See, I mean, I'm not going to read it again because I don't need to be put through the sadness again, and I already know what happens, but, wow, read that book. The next book I read was Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahadi. I still don't know how to pronounce that. I'm terrible. I was supposed to look it up. This is the second book in this duology. The first one was Flame in the Mist. I remember now. I didn't even have to look it up. So this takes place after she was captured and after obviously what happened in the first book. I rated this 4 stars. The writing was just as gorgeous, just as beautiful. The pacing was a little bit off for me. Like, it was slow and it was kind of like to get into. I mean, the first book was like that too, but then once we kind of got into it, it got better, and I really ended up enjoying this one. I just really like seeing the main character like come into herself, and just like become someone, and just become who she wanted to be, because she was so stuck in this spot where it's like, oh well, you're born a girl, you have to get married and whatever. But it was really good to just see like her go against that. So I really enjoyed this duology. It was really good. The next book I read was Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This book, I rated it 3 stars. It could have been a 4-star read, but I ended up rating it 3 stars because, oh, what I really hated about this book, we're going to start with the hate first. What I really hated about this book was the main character's mother. The main character's mother acted like such a teenager. You're supposed to be her mother. Why are you acting exactly the way her sisters are? Like, I get you're supposed to be the evil stepmother, but like I couldn't with it. It was just not it was not it for me. I was like, every time there was a interaction with them, I'm like, oh, because nothing that ever came out of her mouth made sense. Like, make it make sense, lady. Like, no, 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 no. That aside, I really liked so I didn't like the Cinderella aspect of this book, but the whole Comic-Con kind of deal with this, I actually really liked that. I mean, it was a very big, like, so basically there's this like world where everybody's a fan of this one show called Starfield, which is 100% a rip-off of Star Trek. And I feel like people who like enjoy I enjoy Star Trek, and so I was like, oh, this is kind of cool, but I mean, I'm not a hardcore Trekkie, so to me it wasn't like, oh, blasphemous. So I mean, I could get away with being like, oh, I like this, and the cute like little romance plot was cute. The whole texting strangers thing was weird. I didn't really like that part because I felt like that was really unrealistic. Like, if someone sends you a wrong number, you're not going to continue texting it. I don't think I know anybody who would continue texting it and then fall in love. Like, no. No, 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 no. And it, to be someone famous? Nah. No, no, no. That was so unbelievable. But that aside, I really did just like the cuteness, and like it was really fast paced, and it was really like done like the story in and of itself was done well. So I'm really interested to see where the other stories are gonna go, because I know in this trilogy there are other retellings. I know there's a Beauty and the Beast one, and there's another one. I don't remember what it's called, but I think I got it from the library and I'll be reading it soon. So I'll find out then. But as for this one was a nice 3-star read for me. Then the last book on my list was Daughter of the Burning City by Amanda Foote. The 5-star cover right here. I ended up rating this 4 stars because I loved everything about it. I would have rated it 5 stars, but there was something like the beginning was really hard for me to get into. There were so many characters and they all sounded very similar, and I was like, who's who? Who's what? How do we get here? What is going on? And I mean, it did end up explaining itself, and the world building was beautiful. It was amazing. Like the fantasy element with the mystery element. Wow, it was so good. I really enjoyed this. And then the whole plot with the illusions that she can create. I was like, damn, this is creative. I really like this. This is good. So I'm like, Amanda Foote. I see people like her writing. I can see why. This is a single. This is a standalone book. And she managed to put this whole world together in one book. I'm like, woo, it was good. It was great. I loved it. But yeah, I still rated it 4 stars because the beginning I didn't know if I was going to make it. I mean, I knew I was going to make it. I usually push through a lot of things. Other things that are a lot worse than, like, there's nothing worse about this. This is amazing. But I usually push through, so yeah. But I'm like, maybe a 4.5. Maybe I'll change my rating to 4.5. I don't know. But I also highly recommend this book. This book was also really good. And so that concludes these next 5 library books. Oh, I'm gonna lose my hands stuck. I can't hold it. These are them. Yes, I will be probably going to the library again tomorrow, so I'll be filming another video very, very soon. But until then, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, a like, a comment, a subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you guys in my next video. So, thanks and bye guys!